Well, consolidation continues in the North American railway space. Canadian National Railway has announced a competing bid to combine forces with the Kansas City Southern Railway. Well, host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, joins us now with the latest insight on that effort. Shaun, as always, thanks for your time here this morning. So what is in this CN bid?
Hey, Jenna, great to be with you here this morning. So we now have two Canadian railways bidding for Kansas City Southern, and today's bid by CN Rail definitely looks to be a little bit more enticing than the previously offered CP deal. So CN says its offer represents a 21% premium over the implied value of the CP Rail existing agreement with Kansas City Southern. CN says its offer will use an enterprise value for the Kansas City Southern of $33.7 billion. In a letter to the Kansas City Southern Board of Directors, CN President said that this would result in $56 in additional value per share to Kansas City Southern shareholders and more than the CP deal. And Kansas City Southern shareholders will receive $200 in cash and a pretty lofty conversion of a share of CN stock. They basically give the Kansas City Southern shareholders, and they'll own 12% of the combined company, and the U.S. operations would reside in Kansas City.
Now, Shaun, what are the regulatory hurdles for further consolidation taking place here in the railway space?
Yeah, well, no matter which bid is accepted at the end of the day by Kansas City Southern, there is going to be some regulatory hurdles here. Of course, we've seen a huge consolidation over the past decades of railways. There's not a lot of new track being put down, so it's not like we're seeing a lot of new entrants into this market. So what we have is what kind of we're left with. One of the discussions here is why would it potentially be easier for two Canadian railways to get over regulatory hurdles than if another U.S. railway purchased Kansas City Southern? What I've heard from a number of different analysts is that it comes down to competition. And the fact these two Canadian railways bidding for Kansas City Southern do not have, they don't overlap in some of these markets. It would be basically combining the North American market from Canada all the way to Mexico. And that's why maybe we're seeing a little bit more aggressiveness from the Canadian railways as opposed to the U.S. ones.
And Shaun, what happens with the CP rail bid as of now?
Yeah, so I guess CP is going to have they could leave their bid as is and hope that potentially Kansas City Southern sees some other values besides just the financial side in their bid, or like we see a lot of times in these sort of predatory battles for acquisition, maybe they up their bid and they revise it. So that would be something that everybody would be following very, very closely. But very interesting here. In both cases, no matter which way Kansas City Southern goes, this is a connection from Canada through the U.S. all the way to Mexico that really creates that sort of USMCA-style railway.
All right. Well, Shaun, as always, we appreciate your insight here this morning. Host of Real Ag Radio, Shaun Haney, on the phone with us. You can go online to RealAgriculture.com for additional information. You can also catch Shaun on his show, Real Ag Radio. It airs at 4:30 each afternoon, weekdays, of course, on Rural Radio 147 on Sirius XM. And we'll chat with Shaun again here on the Market Day Report tomorrow morning.